Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your sneak peek for this week. How you doing? So this is a reading for the next 7 days, my friends. And if you've been here before, you already know that. So happy new week to you. And whether this comes out at the beginning of the week or middle of the week, it's always going to be for the next 7 days. But most importantly, the 20th is the new moon. So we will be reading about what is going to happen before, leading up to the new moon, and post new moon. So this might be energies around that. So happy almost new moon for you. That's going to be on the 20th in Scorpio. And look, there's a whole party going on in Scorpio right now. Everything is going on in Scorpio. Look, if you are interested in a private read, private reads are open. If you would like to book a pre-recorded reading, you can do that. I do have many, many packages over at Hypsee. Please read the pinned comment at the top of all the comments. It's right, the first link or the first comment that is under the video. It will take you to Hypsee where you can check out my pricing. You can check out what I'm offering in terms of pre-recorded readings. Please know that I'm also offering live readings, and boy, I've been having fun doing that. So talking to some of you over the phone, and it's been so lovely. And so if you would like to do a video call, or if you would like to do a voice call, we can do either one of those. And please check out my timetable. I'm only online at specific times, but if you book ahead during those specific times, you will get a discount anywhere between 5 and 75% off. All right, that's it. That's all. Let's get to it and let's find out what's going on this week. This reading is going to be for energies for the next 7 days. The readings that I do that are just for the individual signs, those are always usually for the week ahead or anything after that day, really. So let's find out what's going on here within these next 7 days before and after this new moon, because it is a spectacular one. If you're doing your research and watching your astrologers online, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's find out what's going on here for you. What's going on here for you, Aries? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, the fire family. What is coming up for Aries in the next 7 days? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Aries. This is going to be a week of structure. It feels like in order to get everything done, in order to get all the tasks complete, it feels like it might be a bit of a serious week where you're doing the right thing, finding opportunities to do the right thing, building structures, teaching people. We've got the Page of Swords here. We've got the 10 of Swords here. And we've got the Judgment card here. I think that you're going to learn about something this week. It feels like there is some sort of a realization that's coming up here. This could be something that is outside of you, Aries. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that's happening to you, but I feel like you are figuring out that something is at its end stages here. It feels like something is about to end, and so it's like the crescendo is here. We're just going to wait for the music to stop. So that's what it feels like here. It also feels like there is some sort of an awakening that's coming. I feel like there is an Aries here who is having an awakening that something is over. And I feel like although you're using this Page of Swords energy to dig really deep, find more information, you're really curious, is this really over? It's like we're in Swords energy this week. I think the Hierophant is showing up because it's sending that information to the higher self. I feel like you are about to come to a realization that you are on a path all on your own. And if the people and situations that you've put yourself in currently are not going to match whatever path you've chosen for yourself, I think that you're going to be okay to go on the rest of the way alone. It feels like it is some sort of an awakening that either there's been a betrayal, maybe you've betrayed the self, maybe you've betrayed the higher self, but it feels like you are stepping into your Hierophant energy this week with the realization that something has to change here. It's a big, big decision or an awakening that you have to make a decision about something that is over. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Devil energy. And we've got the Page of Cups. Look, I feel like this is a bit of a shocking revelation is what it feels like. It's a bit of a shocking, maybe a surprise to you. It feels like this is something, and that's what I'm saying. When this new moon is coming here, it is far more powerful than everybody might be underestimating it. Not everybody, but you know what I mean? If you're not really familiar with energies, and not everybody is, if you can't read energies or you don't feel energies, then it might not be you I'm talking about. But it feels like you are coming to some sort of surprise or shocking revelation that there is somebody in your life that I feel brings sort of a toxic undertone. I feel like it's somebody who is probably, for some of you, if this is, and it isn't for always, it isn't for everybody. If this is somebody who is a romantic connection for you, this person you are realizing is having their way with you because of their sexual energy. They are talking you into things. It's because they're beautiful or handsome. It's because you like their fire. I feel like you are stepping into your Hierophant energy. This is Taurus energy. This is more practical, pragmatic. I've kind of got to look at the situation for what it is and go on the path that I'm supposed to go on. It feels like there's some sort of a surprising awakening sort of energy here that I can't do this anymore. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is the devil energy, and expecting a different result. If I'm not willing to change anything, nothing's going to change. So we've got the Ace of Wands here. It does feel like it is a bit of a flash of, oh man, that's what's going on here. Like it feels like a realization of it. We've got the Five of Pentacles. No more fire. Yeah, it really feels like you get into this very practical energy of no more fire. I think I'm being manipulated by fire. It does feel like you are disconnecting from this. And it feels like you had to take a step back, Aries, to take a look at it really and understand what was going on here. I feel like somebody here in your life, and it could be romantic. It doesn't need to be. Look, the Queen of Wands could be somebody who isn't connected to you romantically. Maybe it's a person at work. Maybe it's a friend. But it feels like what you're realizing this week, and I think it has to do with this new moon coming up here, that you're realizing that this person gives you very minimal time, effort, and energy. They are giving you very little, like the absolute least that they need to give you in order to make you give them your best. Because that's who you are. You're always going to give them your best, right? We've got the Justice card here. Something here is coming back into balance. It feels like something is, it's like all of a sudden you get great clarity. All of a sudden you're making logical decisions. All of a sudden you see something for what it really is. And I feel like you're about to make some sort of a decision to release something, someone, a situation, or a job based on the fact that you realize that you have been used or that you've been manipulated or coerced. I'm looking at the devil with the Queen of Wands energy together, and that's what it's giving me. It's giving me this energy of, oh, I've been manipulated with fire all this time. I've been manipulated with the heat. I've been manipulated by this beautiful person who has realized that if they can keep me blind and keep me doing what they want me to do, that they can have anything that they want. And that's the truth. You're just going to keep giving. So, and Taurus is an overgiver. So it feels like you're coming to a realization in the next 7 days that there's something here, whatever the situation is, or maybe it's a person that you're connected to in a friendly way, or in someone who you're connected to in a romantic way, but you're realizing that they are giving you the absolute minimum. And I think that you realize this when you get out of connection with them. It feels like there's a pause of some kind. On the outcome here, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the 5 of Wands. All of a sudden, you're not really sure about how long this is going to go on. Or maybe it's a realization of, how long did I let this go on? There's indecision all of a sudden about the 10 of Pentacles. Is this really giving me value? It feels like you're about to see something clearer than you ever saw it before with the Ace of Swords here. It feels like the Ace of Swords is cutting through the truth. You're looking at this contract and realizing that you're probably the one who's giving more than the other person's been giving. And I think it's because you have been, this Page of Swords energy is digging really deep and really pulling things apart at its core and saying, is this is this really what I want for my life going forward here? Tell me what's around the corner for Aries. We've got the Magician. Look, I don't really like when the Magician and the Devil come up together, and they are touching here. That's how I read, by the way. That's how I blend the energies. And sometimes I'll read the cards individually, and sometimes I'll blend the energies. But when the Magician and the Devil show up together, to me, that's outright manipulation. Somebody who's creating an illusion that is going to keep you happy but stuck. Stuck in this place. Like Taurus can be very loyal, right? And so it's you're very serious, you're very loyal about the situation, and this person is really just creating an illusion to keep you stuck. Yep, there it is. All I have to do is when Aries gets a little bit further away from me than I want them to be, I just pull them in with a little bit of fire. That's what it looks like. The Three of Swords. It's going to end up in heartbreak. Once you realize that you're being betrayed in some way, it's going to end up in heartbreak. I feel like an argument comes before then, though. So you're going to know that the end is here. If you have this, it just feels like I think that you're going to keep your head about you, honestly, because the Nine of Pentacles is here. But this really does feel like an argument. It feels like a difference of opinion that blows up bigger than you thought it would. I think you're going to keep your wits about you here, and then you're going to leave. I think you're going to realize the situation for what it is, and that you have fundamental differences with somebody, and it's time to put down your sword and go. I just don't even want to fight with you about this anymore. That's what it feels like here. So I feel like something is coming to its end, so something else can begin. So this might even come to an end before the full moon comes, or before the new moon comes up. We're still in full moon energy until the new moon gets here, right? We've got Libra, we've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Virgo and Pisces, Cancer energy. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Yeah, more air energy. All right. Let's find out what is going on with my bowl gang. How you doing, Taurus? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. Let's find out what's going on for you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, which means, I think some of you, when you come here, you think that you're only watching this for your sun sign, but please understand that there are other people who have Taurus in their moon, their rising, their Venus, their Jupiter, right? Let's find out what's going on here for the next 7 days for Taurus. Look, we're coming up to this new moon. New moon is on the 20th, and it's a big one. It's a bigger. There's all kinds of parties going on. All sorts of planets are in Scorpio right now. Yep, and Mercury's moving in to confuse the issue. That's what it's doing. We've got the Seven of Cups. I just said confuse the issue, and the Seven of Cups comes out, right? It's, this is a time that you're going to be looking through the illusion. It feels like you're going to be making decisions on things, Taurus, that you didn't think you would ever make decisions on. I feel like it's because you've come to a place now where you're not playing. That's what it feels like. It feels like, look, I've been through enough. That's what the Six of Wands is, coming through the war, coming through the fight. And as this person is coming back to town or coming back home, people are like, hey, that person came back. They made it through the war. They made it through the fight, and people start to celebrate you. I feel like you're starting to decide who is on your side, who's with you, who's against you, who's on the bus, who's under it, who are the people that are showing up to cheer you on as you come out of the dark night of the soul. I think that's what the Seven of Cups is. It's a little bit of confusion. Look, you come out of the dark night of the soul squeaky clean. You're looking really good as the Empress energy here. You come out with a brand new way of looking at things, and you start seeing the illusions for what they are, and I believe you start putting up some boundaries here. You start putting up some boundaries. You start realizing who you're going to let in the yard and who you want to meet at the property line only. We've got the Ace of Wands. It feels like you are making, Seven Wands, right? Standing up for yourself, putting down boundaries, as I just said, deciding exactly who is with you and who is against you. It feels like this confusion is about to straighten itself out once you realize your worth. And so when you realize, look, I'm worth more than that. You're not allowed to treat me that way or leave me in this place of you don't really know if I'm your friend, or you don't really know if you have feelings for me. I feel like you are making a decision to stand up for yourself and say, look, I'm the Empress. You're in or you're out. This is Taurus and Libra. You're in or you're out. It's not a gray zone here. We're not doing the gray zone. We've got the Four of Cups. We've got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the King of Swords. You know what I really think that your line in the sand is, Taurus? I feel like you are going over the list, and I feel like you are like the list of friends, the list of places or situations you put yourself in. It feels like, or maybe even people that, maybe somebody that you're dating or that you're talking to. I think that the line in the sand is going to be, who relaxes my my system, right? Who relaxes me when I'm around them? Because the Four of Cups is here. Who makes me feel safe when I'm around them? Who makes me feel that I'm listening to the truth, right? Like the King of Swords is here. Look, the King of Swords is somebody who is very honest and truthful and can be very hurtful. If the King of Swords, the King of Swords has already got their mastery of using their words, but if the King of Swords uses their words without using any other energy, like the Queen of Cups, they're going to hurt feelings. And they're probably going to break a relationship or a friendship with you. I feel like whoever relaxes your nervous system when they are around you or you are around them, I think those are the people that you're planning on keeping in the property line, and you're going to put the boundaries up so others that don't make you feel this way. The ones who come at you as the King of Swords without the Queen of Cups, those are the ones you're going to meet at the property line. The ones who are using their Queen of Cups energy along with the King of Swords, which is, I'm still going to tell you the truth, I'm going to be honest and truthful with you, but I'm going to do it in the most kind, compassionate, and loving way because I respect you. And these are the people that you feel comfortable around. These are the ones who relax the nervous system, the ones who you feel comforted by, the ones who you connect to in a logical and truthful way, but also in the kindest way. We've got the Hierophant here. Yeah, it's the people who have learned their lessons. Look, when the Hierophant shows up, it's because we're finally listening to the higher self. And now I built a structure by which I'm living, and I'm walking the walk and talking the talk. And I am going to be honest and truthful with you, but the Hierophant is a beautiful mixture of the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups. The Hierophant is, if the Hierophant was just the King of Swords, and you know, there's people out there who are finger shakers, right? Who will shake their finger at you and say, because you don't believe like me, shame on you. And that's the King of Swords with the Hierophant. The Queen of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Hierophant is, you know what, if you'll just give me a chance to explain myself to you, and whether you believe me or not, that's okay. We can still stay friends. I feel like this Hierophant energy, it tells me that this is sort of who you've always wanted to be, and now you're drawing a line in the sand and saying, you know what, you can be in my presence, but if you're not going to be mixing your emotional energy with your swords energy, then I don't really need you around, because I am loyal and I'm not going to give up my energy to just anybody. We've got the Two of Pentacles out. It's decision-making time, and it's a reassessment time. It's a time of reassessment, Taurus, and it feels like you have put, like, you're very serious when it comes to relationships, whether they are friendships, whether they are love ships. You're very serious and very loyal. And the Seven of Pentacles is telling me that you are keeping an eye on people from a distance and reassessing the situation. And it's coming down to this. I feel like probably the new moon for you is going to be making a decision about how to stay in balance. And I think what you've realized is how you stay in balance is by keeping people around you who help you relax your nervous system so you don't have to be on guard all the time. There it is, the Fool. That is the new moon, right? So I feel like there is an excitement or an exhilaration. It feels exhilarating to be able to jump into a new chapter of your life. But the thing is that once you do, you're never looking back, because this is Hierophant. That's Taurus energy, right? That's you. You know that once you make the decision, you're never going back. So if I push you out to the property line, it's really unlikely that I'm letting you into my yard in order to enjoy the cookout with us. You're probably just going to hand me something over the fence and we're going to be done with it. So I feel like you have decided it's a new day. This is the new chapter here. And I feel like you're making a decision about who's with you, who's against you. The loyalty is in the Hierophant, and you're making decisions based on your Hierophant energy. Tell me what the outcome is for Taurus. We've got the King of Pentacles, because I'm the overgiver, right? That's what that says. Taurus is the overgiver. I'm the one with the material wealth. I'm the one with the kindness, the love. I'm the one who moves slow, who's very loyal. I've got a lot to give, a lot to offer, and I'm not going to give it to just anyone anymore. So I feel like this confusion is cleared up when the Hierophant steps in the room. I feel like somebody here is stepping into their Hierophant energy and saying, you know what? It's time for me to decide who deserves my loyalty and who does not. And the rest of them, I feel I'm going to have to try and find the courage to just hold back. And I'm not going to say anything rude. I'm not going to say anything mean, because listen, she's learning to control She's learning how to control her power. And so I feel like that's what you're doing here, is you're controlling your power, finding the courage to do that. But I do feel that you are finally putting the people on the outside of the property line that don't belong on the inside. And I feel like the Knight of Wands is telling me to tell you to be brave. Because yes, you are about to lose some friendships. You are about to maybe quit a job or decide that, no, this is not the way it's going. I'm digging my feet in the sand and saying, no, you don't get to step across this line. But you and you and you, yep, come on over. I feel like you're making decisions and let them feel judged. It is what it is. But I feel like you realize your worth. You know that you have a lot to offer. You know that you give a lot of structure and that you're very loyal and that you're going to do the right thing. And not everybody deserves that from you. What's around the corner, please, for Taurus? We have the Three of Pentacles. There we go. You're creating your community, my friend. That's what's going on here. We've got the Five of Pentacles, and that means that you're going to have to create distance between you and some other people, and that's going to take a lot of work. But in the end of it all, yes, right? I just heard Jules say, in the end, only kindness matters. And that's the truth. It's okay if people are honest with you. Because look, if we didn't have people to keep us in check in our lives, what would we do? Right? And so I love to bring people into my life who keep me in check, but in the kindest way. And so I feel like you're creating your community coming up in this new cycle here. The Three of Pentacles is your community. It is people who you trust. It's people who are solid and grounded, people who are willing to build a new foundation with you or continue to work on the foundation. I feel like all the other ones are in the Five of Pentacles, that they're just going to have to figure out how to get along without you, because you, I feel, have given enough. You give a lot, and this is what you are. You're in the Ten of Pentacles. What you're doing now is you're structuring the people around you who are going to be with you for the last leg of your life. That's what it feels like. And that's, I feel, very valid. I feel like it's a good thing for you to spend your time on. Yep. And those people who are in the Ten of Pentacles, the ones you want around for the rest of your life, you're going to be deepening your connection with them. And the rest of them are just going to have to go. They're going to have to go. It's already in motion, my friend. It's already in motion here with the Six of Swords. The Ten of Swords is here. I feel like you've been looking at it, watching, reassessing, doing it slowly, moving toward it slowly. But I think that coming up, when this new moon comes in, you now realize who you have to cut out and who you are going to keep in your life, because there are people around you who I feel would rather betray you or be rude to you, or who just don't fit your ideal Hierophant energy. That's all it is. And not everybody can get along. That's the truth of it. We've got Aries, we've got Cancer, Taurus energy, more Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Libra. We've got the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I feel like this moves really quickly. I feel like you're going to find probably by the end of the month, you're going to make your cuts and kind of be done with it. It feels like here. Tell me about Gemini. Well, if Taurus is getting loud, let's see what we can bring up for Gemini. Oh no. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. You see the new moon in Scorpio, right? This is how it's going down. Find out what's going on for Gemini, this Scorpio new moon, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio. I feel like for a lot of you, this is the way it starts. It feels like as you're making decisions as to what, I'm just talking about you, Scorpio. Happy birthday, by the way. No, I'm not. This is Gemini. I was talking about Scorpio energy. So the Gemini, I feel like the way it's going down for you is, I feel like it's something that begins with you just saying it. Like, I feel like you're just not affording anybody this energy of, because, you're not affording anybody this energy of blowing smoke anymore. I think that you're just piecing things apart. That's what it feels like. There we go. We got the Eight of Wands on the table. So it tells me that things are about to move forward really quickly here. The Six of Cups is in the reverse. I feel like you've been feeling stuck recently about what to do or how to move forward from here. And we've got the Emperor's here. Yep. And we got the Ace of Wands. That's what it feels like. So, the Emperor is the one that's always in control. And I feel like you have been feeling stuck about making a decision about moving forward to whatever makes you happy or excited or makes you feel creative. And I feel like you're ready to do that now because the Eight of Wands is here. But I also feel the Six of Cups is in the reverse. It feels like you're stuck in nostalgia. Look, it feels like you're ready to go, but you don't want to go. And that's why I was saying I feel like you are probably just going to say something or do something that is going to ignite this Eight of Wands. You have to move forward. I feel like it's a have to. I don't feel like it's a choice at this point. It feels like I've got to get out of my head. I've got to get out of being stuck in these feelings of the past in order to move forward and be excited about life again. I need momentum. How do you get your momentum here? We've got the Nine of Wands there. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And we've got the King of Cups. Scorpio shows up, right? So it does feel like there is something that I feel you are making a decision about. It might be something that is financial. And it feels like, look, I think that you have been hesitant to make a decision about something that you've been keeping under the surface, and you've been trying to figure out, how do I move forward that's best for me without hurting the people that I had created connections with in the past. The Six of Cups is in the reverse. It feels to me, Gemini, that you're having a hard time. And look, Gemini, I don't know, everybody calls Taurus. Everybody tells Taurus that they're very stubborn. But look, I've never yet once met a Gemini who wasn't as stubborn as a Taurus. You could have Taurus energy. You don't have to. But I'm just saying, we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. And it feels like somebody here has been dragging their heels to move away from nostalgia. The reason you haven't made this change to jump into the Ace of Wands energy and to be more passionate and excited and go run at some of the things that you've always wanted to do is because there's people that are around you that you have nostalgia with, and they don't want you to move forward. But I feel like the Eight of Wands is saying the momentum is here and you can't avoid it anymore. So the King of Cups is telling me, yeah, you're keeping it under the surface, but the Queen of Pentacles is here and the Nine of Wands is here. It feels like you've been carrying around some sort of a burden about maybe supplying people with things, stuff, monetary things. They see you as the person who's very grounded and stable and giving, and you're doting and you take care of everything. And I feel like you're going to be slipping out of that. You're going to be slipping out of that role and into the role of the Emperor, who is unilateral, right? The Emperor is like, now I'm making decisions for myself. And I'm making a decision that I have to move forward because the momentum is here and I've got to go with it. I've got an exciting new project or something creative or something exciting that's in the future and I want to go get it. But I think it's the being stuck in the past here is what is making you not want to move forward. Oh, look at that. We've got the Empress here. We've got the moon energy here. I feel like the universe is testing you on this new moon. And that's what it feels like. The universe is testing you on this new moon. And it feels like what you don't see is that I feel like there is an Empress in your environment, or there is somebody who's on your vibrational match that you don't see. I think this is the test. I feel like the test is, and remember I said you were just going to say something? It feels like the Six of Cups is keeping you trapped in the past or with people who aren't willing to grow and move like you are. And I feel like you say something that breaks that. And I'm going to say that if it happens and there's an argument and they want to move away from you, I think it's destiny that they go because you're going in the opposite direction. You're not stuck in nostalgia anymore. The Eight of Wands is here telling you to move forward. It's time for you to go. And so I feel like it's time for you to go because what you don't see, things are not as they seem. What you don't see is that there's someone else on your vibrational frequency who I feel is someone who is probably parallel to you, going through the same things you're going through. See, the Empress is also ready to embark on some sort of a new exciting path. Now, this could be romantic for some of you, right? But I feel like somebody here can't be standing in the hallway holding onto the two doors, one from the past and one to the present. Or sorry, one from the past and one to the future. You can't be standing in the present and have a foot in each world. It's time for you to pull out of the last cycle and move into the new cycle. And I feel like you will meet somebody there. Whether this ends up being a friend or a romantic connection for you, I don't know. But it feels like that there are two people who are in the same vibrational level that probably don't even know each other. You probably haven't met each other yet. And it feels like there is some sort of a weight that's going on. And what I feel like this weight is you to make the decision to move forward into the Ace of Wands energy. Because if you don't, you can't have what's on the other side. We've got the Fool. Look. That's very interesting, you know, because I think Taurus had the same Fool show up in the same place. Was it? Yeah, it was Taurus. Yeah, it was the reading I just did. So look, there is a new chapter coming up for you. And the reason that nothing is moving, if you feel like everything's in a stalemate and nothing's moving for you, it's because you're stuck in the past and you're waiting for somebody to catch up and that person's not catching up for you. I feel like you're supposed to make a new connection or new connections, maybe with an S on the end. And it feels like you are, what you want for yourself is you want people to see your value. I feel like you're keeping it all under the surface. And somebody has hurt you here, but the reason that you're staying connected to them is because, well, I've known them forever. And I think that you need to make the decision, the unilateral decision, to move forward into the Ace of Wands energy so you can have that Fool energy. I feel like the moon's waiting on you. Waiting on you to make the decision. Like, some of you won't move past it. Some of you are still going to be stuck in the nostalgia of the past. And that's okay. It just means you're not ready. Maybe when the next new moon comes around, you do it. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Lovers. We've got the Five of Wands. And we've got the Four of Swords. It does feel like somebody here wants to begin something new, but is in hesitation or is holding themselves back. It seems like indecision here. I'm going to say that for some of you, you're looking for a new connection. Maybe you're looking at leaving an old connection, or maybe you already have, but you're still stuck to the nostalgia of the old connection. A lot of people, when they get out of a connection and it breaks up, they start romanticizing all the good times and they forget that there's a reason we broke up. We weren't compatible. We weren't supposed to be together. And so we continue to romanticize whatever went on in the background, whatever went on in the past. But I really do feel that with this Lovers here and the Five of Wands, that somebody here is hesitating. It feels like indecision. I'm fighting myself as to whether I should really heal completely from this and move forward or not. I feel like you're carrying trauma from the last relationship or the last situation, the last job, whatever it was. But I feel like you're moving into a place now with the Queen of Pentacles where you're sort of becoming a little more solid emotionally. I would say that you've become emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent. And emotional intelligence means that you kind of keep things under the surface. And I don't want to fight about it. I don't want to argue about it. But it is time for me to move forward into a new chapter, because I think in the new chapter is somebody new. We've got the Four of Wands here. We've got the Knight of Wands. And we've got the Two of Cups. So it does feel like you feel as though you will never find another passion like the passion you had before. I want to say that it's not always about the passion. It's not always about the fire. In fact, it's usually about the person you don't need or you're not particularly attracted to at this moment. The person who kind of surprises you by, you know, the Emperor is the one who is circling the room, sort of sizing everybody up, seeing the situation for what it is. And it feels like here that somebody here is in the past, I think, because it's touching the Six of Pentacles or Six of Cups in reverse. It feels like somebody in the past tried to rush things because I just want to be in a relationship. And a lot of people do that. And then they wonder why it all crashes and burns all the time. But it feels like somebody here was rushing before. And now that you're in the Emperor energy and the King of Cups energy, you're like, I don't want to rush this. I don't want to rush it. I want it to go slow. I want to deepen a connection with somebody and get to know them first to actually see if we're compatible or not before we get into the fiery stuff. There it is. Look, I was saying at the very beginning, so you're just going to say it. And I feel like this Five of Swords is like, I'm gonna give you a scenario. It's like you're separated from someone, but you're dragging your heels on the divorce. You've been separated for 3 or 4 years, and you're dragging your heels on the divorce. It feels like something you can't let go of because you're hoping that it will rekindle or it will work itself out, or you're waiting for an ex to come by because we're in Mercury retrograde. But I feel like with the Five of Swords, it's like somebody says something where you start to realize why you did break up, why you have the fundamental differences. And I feel like it's like you just say it, look, I can't do this with you anymore. We're just going to have to, and I mean, I don't feel like there's anything holding you to this person. So those of you who had a child with this person, that kind of cuts you out of the scenario that I'm trying to portray here, because I don't feel like you have any ties to this person, honestly. I feel like you're just saying, you know what, it's not healthy for my mental health for me to keep having the same argue in circles with you. We've got the Sun. I think it's a breakthrough that you have. It's a realization that I've just got to cut away from the past so I can move into the future. 3 of Wands is here. Because I've got to expand my life, and I can't if I'm stuck to the past. We've got Aries, Pisces, Cancer. We've got Libra and Taurus, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries. We've got Gemini energy right there, and more Scorpio energy. All right. Let's talk about Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. As we approach this new moon, Cancer, on the 20th, tell me about Cancer for the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Got the 9 of Swords. I feel like you are in this energy already. I feel like it's an angst. It feels like something I'm unsure of and worrying about. I know I have to make a decision, but I can't make that decision right now. It feels like somebody has put themselves in a mental prison where they're being asked. I feel like you're in the mental prison because you're being asked to use your intuition to make this decision. And I feel like you're fighting your intuition. We have the Temperance card here. Look, you're fighting the Temperance card. The Temperance card is the moment of alchemy. It's trying to say to you, look, you're the alchemist. You get to fold everything in to make it all balanced if you want to, but it's going to require some healing. And I feel like the healing is the 9 of Swords. You need to get rid of that energy. This place where I don't trust myself, I don't trust my intuition. When it's time to move forward, the 8 of Wands is here. When it's time to move forward, like when the Temperance shows up and says, look, everything is ready. Everything is ready for you to do the thing that is next. But if you don't take that door, that's when the anxiety ensues, right? That's when the 9 of Swords is, I can't sleep, I can't make a decision. Because I think that you're fighting the major arcana energy. And when the major arcana show up, look, it's here. It's happening. You can't fight it. It's already here. But whether you take a step into whatever it is you want to take a shot at as the energies move forward or not is completely up to you, Cancer. And I feel like somebody here is trying to hold back from moving forward from something here. What's giving you all this angst here? We've got the Fool. See, there is a new door opening. There is a new chapter opening here, and it's probably on the 20th. And it feels like you don't want to change. And Cancer, I've always called you the Taurus of the water signs. It feels like you don't want to change. You don't want change. You want to think about it a little more. I'm not really sure of the decision that I want to make. But I feel like these two energies here are saying, look, it's time to go. The Fool is here with the Knight of Pentacles. You've taken enough time. You've looked over the situation. You have been in the Hermit energy for a while already. It feels like you're like, wait. You know, that's what it is. You know when people go to bungee jump? You've probably seen the videos where people are ready to bungee jump and the person on the platform is ready to push them off or tip them over and say, okay, go. And they're like, wait. That's what this feels like. Cancer, it feels like you want to make a decision. You have all of the data. You've reassessed it to the nth degree. You know exactly what's going on. You have all the information and you've been moving so slow towards making some sort of decision to make some sort of push toward the future that I feel as though you're standing on the edge. You're on the edge of the diving platform, you know, the really, really high one at the pool, at the local pool. Your toes are over the edge, but you're terrified to jump. That's what it feels like. And that's what's causing the anxiety because the door is open. You've been walking toward or approaching the door for a really long time. And it's like you're taking one last look within the self. Have I learned enough? Do I know enough? Am I enough? 3 of Pentacles. It's time for you to build some sort of a new foundation. It does feel like somebody is being pushed toward this moment of alchemy where everything is in its place, in order for you to build a new community or build something with a solid foundation. It feels like a new group, or maybe it's time to move, or maybe it's just time to move into a new friendship group. But it could be that that your energy is saying, but what if I get lied to? What if I can't be the truth detector? What if I'm building this foundation and then I start to deepen a connection with a person or people, because the Three of Pentacles is a community. What if I do that? We start to collaborate, we start to cooperate, we start to get along really well. I start to trust them, we build a foundation, and then all of a sudden somebody lies to me and I'm the bullshit detector like no other. I feel like you are the bullshit detector, and I feel like the Queen of Swords is here is saying, well, I'm going to have to put up my boundaries and I'm back to where I was. So I feel like you're worried about being betrayed. We've got the Nine of Swords and one in the hand of the Queen. I feel like you're on guard because you're worried about being betrayed, either, you know, this is intimacy, right? The Two of Cups is intimacy. And intimacy has nothing to do with sexual connection. Intimacy is talking to someone over dinner. Intimacy is hanging out, eating snacks and watching a movie, getting to know each other really well. It feels like the deepening of a bond or some intimacy between you and a group or you and another person, and you're on guard. You're waiting for somebody to betray you because that's usually the way it works out for you. The Three of Cups is here though. I think that you can relax. I'm just going to say, it feels like you can relax, but I feel like you are feeling the echoes of the Five of Cups here, of sadness, of feeling like I could get hurt at any moment. It feels like it's betrayals of the past that are echoing in your mind. And so I feel like the Temperance energy is here to push you forward into a very healing energy. And I feel like all things are saying it's time to go, but you're holding back. So I feel like you're on the edge of jumping off that really high platform, and it's safe to go. I feel like it is, because the Fool is here at the Three of Cups. It feels like it's going to be a pretty good time. It feels like celebration and togetherness and maybe restoration. Oh, restoration of your trust. That's what it is. It's going to restore your trust with somebody here. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Two of Swords. There's your decision-making process. There's the Six of Wands and the Strength card. So you see the Six of Wands is Leo energy. I'm ready to move forward. I'm okay with getting the attention. I'm okay with giving the attention. But boxing in the Six of Wands, the one who wants to be brave and be seen, is the Strength card and the Two of Swords. I'm scared to make a decision that's not going to be good. I'm having a hard time releasing or letting go of the doubt. I feel like really all you have to do is check in with your intuition. Go with whatever your gut says. Look, it's really good. I feel like Cancer, whoever I'm connecting with, if you're really listening to your intuition, I feel like you're making the right decision. Look, you already have the sword. I'm just going to say the Queen of Swords isn't going to let anybody get out of line. The Queen of Swords isn't going to allow people to treat them in a certain way, because the Queen of Swords has respect for the self. So if it doesn't work out, you cut it away and you keep moving. But I honestly think that this works out better than you think it will. It could be romantic or platonic. You can pick whatever one it is for you. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Justice card. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Elsie, I've worked so hard to get myself, my finances, my health, whatever the Eight of Pentacles is, I've worked so hard to get it all in balance. Well, I think that the universe is saying your karma is complete. But I think that the reason you feel like it's not time to move forward, because the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse. You feel like, this isn't a destined connection. It doesn't feel like destiny. I think that you're second guessing it. So I'm going to say, don't take the leap until you're ready, because you may just screw it up if you do. Because if the Wheel of Fortune, if you are listening to your intuition, and again, when eyes are covered, it's always intuition, right? And if your intuition is telling you no, then maybe don't do it right now. But it doesn't mean that's forever. Because I feel like you're feeling this anxiety, Nine of Swords, because Temperance is here with the Wheel in reverse. The universe is saying, look, it's go time. It's the moment of alchemy. But the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse is you saying, but I don't want to change. I don't want anything to change. I want to be able to protect myself, and I don't want anything to change. We've got the Three of Swords in the reverse. It's because you're trying to recover from pain from the past. This is past hurts, and I feel like you need to make a decision as to what you're going to do. because, you know, when the Fool's here, it's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's fun. Just take it slow. Take it slow, and if it doesn't work, then disconnect from it. You know, it's not that when we go into something, into a relationship, into a friendship, into a new job, it's not that we have to be prepared for everything that might happen on the way in. It's that, do we have a plan that can help us exit in a really good way that we're happy with? Do we have an exit plan? And I think that's what you need, is an exit plan. We have Libra, we have Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, more Libra, we've got more Sagittarius, we've got Leo, more Leo, Virgo, Aries energy. All right. Tell me about Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Leo as we step forward to this new moon on the 20th, new moon in Scorpio. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo. Got the High Priestess. Your intuition's working overtime. You're trying to make a decision with the intuition, but you're being quiet about it. What's this? The Two of Swords. You're trying to make a decision, as I just said. I feel like you're waiting for the last puzzle piece. It feels like you're waiting to feel stable or sturdy about making some sort of decision. It doesn't feel right just yet. It's something that you're keeping to yourself, something you're keeping under the surface. And, you know, eyes being covered here, as I was saying in the last reading, is always intuition. I feel like you're trying to make a decision here, Leo, that is intuitive. I feel like you're finally listening to your intuition here. We've got the Five of Cups. Why is that? The Four of Swords. It feels to me that there's something that you're holding under the surface. You're trying to make a decision about how to move forward or away from something here that made you sad. It feels like it could be regret of the past. It does feel like you're making a decision to move forward. We've got 4 and 2 swords is 6. 6 of swords is moving from a place that is chaos to a much calmer place. But that means movement. That means you've got to go. And so I think that the 5 of Cups here is you're waiting for your intuition to tell you that it is time to go, because I don't feel like you want to go. And when I say to go, it could be detaching from a thought pattern, changing your mind. The Two of Swords is here. It's a hard decision to make. Oh, I just heard Chicago sing, "You're a hard habit to break." It feels like you're trying to break a habit, whether that's a habit of a person or maybe it's an addiction or something that you do that is not necessarily good for you. It could be maybe you're not eating well. Maybe you're doing something to your health that is not conducive to good health, because the pomegranate's in her hand. She's got a healthy intuition. I feel like there's some things here that you have to learn. What is this? We've got the 8 of Pentacles. We've got the Star energy, and we have the Fool in the reverse. So I feel like there are some lessons to be had here. It almost feels like you are wondering, have I learned enough lessons? I feel like you have been in this place where you've been by yourself, maybe keeping away from a social group. Maybe you've been spending time on your own. I'm looking here, you can see this, we can see 5 Pentacles, but when you look close, there is a plan to make 3 more. This is the 8 of Pentacles. And it feels like as you've been working on yourself, trying to complete some sort of plan or self-mastery, or you're planning something, learning something, it feels like you are by yourself healing somewhere. And I think part of the healing is the 5 of Cups. Part of the healing is the intuition. The Fool is in the reverse. I feel like you oftentimes will just take a leap in fire. You'll just go and do something, and then you regret it later. And I feel that you're living in regret because there's a hard habit to break, whether that's a person or a habit that you have of doing something that is not healthy for you. And it could be a thought pattern. Look, our thoughts rule us. Whatever we think, we will become. And so it feels like somebody here is stuck or in a pause or trying to get perspective. It does feel like you're feeling rather lonely, though, that this has been a really long process because the Eight of Pentacles is moving really slow. That's Virgo energy. But it feels like I'm trying to heal the way I do things for myself. I'm trying to master a skill. But the Fool is in the reverse. But I tell you what, I just want to jump in head first, regardless of what's going on. You're fighting some sort of a... hard habit to break. It feels like you're fighting an addiction of some sort, whether that's an addiction to fire, to a person, to something that you've been doing that is not good for your health, or your mental health, because we have swords here. I think it's going to take you thinking outside the box and not thinking like everybody wants you to think. I think this is the part where you're having the hard time, Leo, is that you don't want to do what everybody wants you to do. But it's really hard because this is a really slow, grueling process of going over myself detail by detail in order to heal this urge to take a jump into something that I'm probably going to end up looking like a fool doing. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. So the reassessment phase is what's taking such a long time. You're waiting, holding back, seeing if the urge to do whatever it is that you do, that's the habit, will go away. We have the Judgment card. And we have the Six of Cups. This is something that you've been doing for a long time. It feels like you probably gained this habit. It feels like a bad habit probably. And look, this bad habit could be something like saying negative things to yourself. It could be not being able to make decisions, and so you do nothing because you don't want to have to make a wrong decision that will end you in the Five of Cups here. It feels like there is an awakening coming here. So after a long time of waiting, I feel like your intuition is waking up, and I feel like you're coming to a realization that the reason that I've been jumping into things head first and not paying attention to the details before I do that is because it's something I've done all my life. It's like it was modeled for you by your parents. This is something that you've been doing all of your life, but I feel like you're going through some sort of an awakening or a realization that is going to see you rebirthed into a new season of patience and reassessment and waiting. And I think that's why you're being kept in this Eight of Pentacles for a while, because you're being taught patience here. We've got the Five of Swords. It's really hard, though. Feels like it's really hard because it feels as though this is a fundamental difference as to how you were raised. You're breaking a chain here. That's what it feels like. You're breaking a chain of addiction, or you're breaking a chain of talking badly to yourself. It feels like you're breaking a chain of something that was taught to you through your childhood, and you are at this point of being rebirthed into a new situation where you are realizing you have fundamentally different views than your family, friends, or the people who surround you. And that's why you're in this place by yourself. That's why you've pulled yourself away. What's the outcome here? We've got the Nine of Cups, we've got the Page of Pentacles, and we've got the Hierophant. Yep, you are the one who is breaking the chain. You know what it is it feels like you are dragging your heels because although you want to do the right thing, it feels bad to do the right thing, if that makes any sense at all. It feels scary to do the right thing. It feels like, what if this is just another bad decision I'm making? I feel like with the Page of Pentacles being here, that this again is something that doing the right thing to you is foreign because you maybe come from a long line of people who maybe were addicts or had addictive behaviors, like people who gambled too much, people who couldn't save $1 because they just put it in one hand and out the other. It feels like you finally want to be happy. The Nine of Cups is here. And it feels like the only way you're going to be happy is by getting serious about where you put your money, where you put your time, your effort, or your energy. The Page of Pentacles is here. You're at the beginning of something. And at the beginning of something, when we're birthing it, it is so painful. It's really hard. And so I think that's what's going on with you right now. So I think you're being birthed into a new cycle. This new moon for you is going to be a painful one, maybe even an emotional one with the 5 of Cups here. Tell me what's coming up around the corner. We've got the 7 of Cups, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the 9 of Wands. So what do you want? Do you want to carry around confusion for the rest of your life, or do you want to finally put down the confusion and go with clarity? We've got the 8 of Swords. This is where you're stuck. The 7 of Cups is here, and it is illusion. I'm going to say that you feel like you can't go into the new cycle. You can't start again, or you can't be reborn, and that's the illusion. We've got 10 Wands here. I feel like you're the wounded warrior. It does really feel like it's deep-seated trauma, I'm just going to say. It feels like it's deep-seated. You're used to being hurt. You aren't a good decision maker, and I feel like you've been working on making good decisions, because I feel like you're about to step outside the box with the star here and heal yourself in an unconventional way. Yeah. It almost feels like somebody here is stepping out of tradition and into their own lifestyle, and the whole family or friends or whoever it is are up in arms. And you know that you've got this decision to make, because the 5 of Pentacles is here, and I mentioned the 5 Pentacles that were here, but you have plans to work a little harder on yourself. You have plans for the 3 Pentacles, right? Because we only saw the 5 here from a distance. You have plans to make better, solid decisions or build a foundation of community. You might be entering a new community. All right. We've got Virgo, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. We've got more Pisces energy, Scorpio, lots of Pisces, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. It feels like you're trying to get out of some sort of chaotic mindset and move into this place that is calmer, but it's going to require you stepping out of tradition, and that's the hardest part for you, because you've never been there before. Tell me about Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter, the Earth cousin. I'm a Taurus. Let's find out what's going on for you, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Virgo, we have a new moon coming up on the 20th. Big changes. Leaving things behind. Gonna leave my old life behind. Thunder, right? Imagine dragons. Tell me about Virgo. What's coming up in the next 7 days for Virgo? We've got the 6 of Wands. So you're gaining some sort of a victory after a hard cycle that you're coming out of. I feel like moving toward this new moon here tells me that this is going to be a cycle of easy new victories for you, but you don't see it right now because it's hiding in the moon energy. For me, the sun is the sun, but listen, it's a little bit dim. The sun for me actually in the reverse is the moon energy, and it feels like what you don't see is the happiness that's coming, all the excitement that's coming. What you don't see is that there's a breakthrough coming. And I think that the 6 of Wands is here to say, just keep moving. Because the 6 of Wands is like coming from the fight or the war. And you are going to get some sort of exciting victory or success after having a really hard time. But I don't think that you see it just yet. I feel like you're just keeping your head down and you're just moving, even though it is very emotional, very regretful. I feel like somebody here doesn't realize that when you get past this new moon energy, things get to be much, much easier because you have thought about it, overthought it, you've been patient, and I feel like you have reassessed the situation to a point where it's time for you to have the 6 of Wands. It's time for you to be noticed as someone who's brave, as someone who is someone who is successful. But I think the sun in the reverse is, like I said, still the sun, but it makes it hard for you to see too far into the future. Tell me about the 6 of Wands. Feels like you're going to be recognized for something here. It's almost like your family or friends are going to recognize that you've been through a really tough time, and that out of this tough time, you've actually become emotionally patient. We've got the 4 of Pentacles, Got the Ace of Swords. And we've got the Page of Swords. You know what, my friend? I think you've had some sort of a realization as you come out of the dark night of the soul. Feels like you've had a realization that you just were not vulnerable. You've realized that vulnerability is necessary. And I think that you're curious. What does life look like if I decide to creak the door open just a little bit and be a little bit vulnerable? Because I feel like you've been holding yourself back. It feels like you have been trying to be patient with yourself. I think that through this hard time, through coming through the dark night of the soul, that you have learned to shut yourself off, shut your energy off, or shut your emotions off. And I feel like what this dark night of the soul did for you is helped you build emotional patience with the self, is what it feels like. The Page of Swords is telling me you're curious. I feel like you want to explore making decisions, truthful, honest decisions, and I feel like you know that you cannot remain in this miserly energy if you are going to explore being vulnerable. So I feel like the Ace of Swords is telling me that you have some sort of a clarity or realization or aha moment about I need to be a little more flexible about the decisions that I make, because I need to be curious. I need to be curious to see what the outcome is going to be instead of just assuming that it's all going to go to shit. Tell me more about Virgo. Got the Ten of Pentacles. Got the Temperance card. And we have the Eight of Wands. Look, it feels like you're moving into a time in your life where things are going to be even, balanced, and healed. And I think that you are making a big decision through clarity. I'm going to pop open the door just a little bit, Elsie, and I will just want to see what's out there. I feel like your victory leads to the 10 Pentacles. It leads to the softening of your it feels like it's maybe a little bit of hope. I want to say the softening of, but it feels like it's finally you've got a little bit of hope, right? Temperance card is here, and I feel like the Temperance card is here because things are coming back into balance. For some of you, it could be financially, but for others of you, it almost feels like you're back on track now. Because the Six of Wands is coming from the fight or the war, getting the victory, and the victory is the Ten of Pentacles. So it could be financial, or it could be a new job for some of you, but I feel like it is a balancing of the scales here with the Ten of Pentacles. It feels like things all at once. It could be money, time, health, energy, effort. It could be a job, whatever it is. Everything collides in this moment of temperance here, where everything is in the moment of alchemy. And then you get to move forward in your life. But I think the hardest thing for you is coming out of this place of the dark night of the soul and believing it can get better. Yeah. We've got the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, it's a time for you to reconnect, maybe to yourself, maybe to other people, maybe to this hope that things are going to get better. And I feel like you're met with the Ten of Pentacles as you come out of the dark night of the soul. You are going to have some sort of a victory that you're not expecting. And it's because you've put in all the hard work and you've made some tough decisions. And one of those tough decisions is, I realized I've got to say whatever it is that I need to say. I've got to speak out loud, tell people what I need. Because people, if you don't get what you want and you haven't asked people for what you need, like, you can be mad at them if you ask them and they tell you no. You can be mad at them if you want, but if you don't say anything, and they don't know what you need, and so they don't give it to you, then, well, whose fault is that? That's what I kind of feel about the reading here. We've got the Hermit, we've got the Three of Swords, and we've got the Ten of Swords. Look, if you don't tell people, that person betrayed me, that really hurt my heart, that really disappointed me, or it broke my heart. If you just go away and go into the Hermit energy, I mean, you're going to heal there. You are. You're going to heal there. You're going to look over the self. You're going to figure it out. The Hermit energy is the dark night of the soul energy. And I feel like you go into this Hermit energy whenever somebody hurts your feelings, breaks your heart, whenever there's disappointment, or whenever there's betrayal. And I think this is no different. But I feel like when you come out of it this time, I feel like you realize that it's a little bit easier to move forward because it feels like the family's on your side, or the friend group is on your side, or the job calls you and says, okay, you coming in for the job or not? You're reconnecting with society, you're reconnecting with your finances, you're reconnecting, period. We've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, and we've got the Ace of Wands. Look, you thought it was never going to get here, but it was just that it was taking its time because the Knight of Pentacles was here. There is a decision that's being made in the 3D, and I think it's being made in favor of you. And something is about to materialize here. The Knight of Pentacles is here. 3 Pentacles. We're building a foundation, friends. So I feel like if you've lost hope, I feel like please know that this new moon that's coming up is bringing something good for you. The Ace of Wands is here. It's going to excite you. It's something that's creative. It's very exciting, and it feels like it's brand new. It's materializing in the 3D. Got the Ace of Pentacles here, and it is an investment. So somebody is investing in you. So maybe it might be the place where you put in your resume, or it's the family who's reinvesting in you. I feel like you've been away or locked yourself away for a while. So when you do reemerge, I think it's with a different attitude. And I think that other people gather around you to make sure that you're going to be okay, because they want to see you step into your victory and your success as well. All right, we've got Taurus energy. We've got Sagittarius, more Taurus, Virgo. We've got Scorpio energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Leo, more Leo, more Virgo energy here. All right, Libra. What's going on for Libra? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Libra. Libra, you're right next door to all the havoc that's going on. So if you've got if you're in your later degrees of Libra, that possibly you're feeling all of this really intense energy going on in Scorpio, you might be feeling that a lot, because there's all kinds of things, big party of planets going on in Scorpio right now. Let's find out what's going on for you, Libra, coming up on this new moon, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Libra. We've got the Death card. So something definitely is ending. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, you were dragging your heels with something here. We've got the Eight of Cups. And we've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. It's very emotional. Libra, I think you've made a decision here, or you're about to make a decision in the next 7 days, whereby you are slamming the door closed on an old chapter. I think that you're kind of being forced into it, to be honest. I feel like with the Death card here, that something here is transforming, or it's either taking on a different shape than it ever was before, but it definitely is ending. And I feel like you didn't want it to end, or maybe you were trying to hold back from the ending here because the Seven of Pentacles is here. The Eight of Cups is next, though. So I feel like it is the end, and you already have done the detaching, and I think you are feeling emotional about that. But this will be an emotional new moon, because not only are new moons beginnings, but because things are beginning, that's the reason why other things must end. Because the new moons are here, and we can't stop that. That's just happening. It is what it is, right? The moon is a major arcana energy, so it's happening. But I feel like what you're feeling very overly emotional about is that something has to come to an end. That the old time is over, the past is gone. It feels like you're almost in a little bit of mourning. So if you're feeling a little bit melancholy or a little bit sad over this new moon, that's probably why. It's not that you're not grateful for the new cycle. It's that you're still mourning the end of the old cycle because you have a hard time letting go. We have the Five of Wands. Yeah, see? It's all about, like, the Seven of Pentacles is all about, but wait. I want to reassess that. Maybe I don't want to let it go yet. Let me wait a little bit. I just want to take a practical look at it and reassess it one more time to make sure that this is the thing that I want to let go. So I feel like this indecision with the Five of Wands is you fighting the natural progress, which is the Death card, which is something that you need to let go of because it's not working out. The Nine of Wands is here. But the reason that you're not letting it go is because you know that it's going to be hard to deal with. It feels like, I want to say that you're probably at the end of a cycle. You've been holding on to something. I'm seeing somebody hold on to one of those really big ropes, like the kind you find on a ship. And you've been holding on so long that your hand's beginning to bleed. And I think that you just don't want to let something go because you're the analytical one. Am I sure? Am I really, really sure? Am I really, really, really sure? It feels like you are trying to hold on to something until you're absolutely positively sure that you want to let it go. But the Death card is, look, bro, let it go. We've got the King of Wands here. And so it feels like there is a realization. Look, Libra, I think that you have some wisdom. And the wisdom is, like, the King looking at the Nine of Wands here is very interesting because we have 9 wands and one in the hand of the King, which is 10. And the King has wisdom. It's almost like the adult you is looking back at the younger you, the one who has already learned the lesson and saying, it's okay to let it go. It's okay to drop it. The 10 of Wands is the place where you've been carrying the burden long enough. It's okay to finally let it go. Stop fighting the Death card. You're not going to win. It's major arcana. It's here. The end of the chapter is here already. It's a done deal. It's something that never did suit whatever is happening in the future for you, and you must let that go. But I feel like you're trying to detach from it, but it's making you feel emotional, like sad. You're probably going to go through an emotional, teary session over this new moon. Look, the Tower's here. It's like the Tower had to show up to break the chokehold that you had on the thing that you don't want to let go of. But you know it's not good for you. We've got the Knight of Cups. It's something romantic, possibly. And we've got the Six of Swords. It feels to me like you're the person who hangs out until the other person says, okay, you can go. You are not the one who wants to make the decision to go. You're going to wait until the Tower shows up and pulls everything to the ground, so there's just no possible way of returning. It's like you're in a relationship. If it's romantic, it could be. Maybe it's a friendship. But somebody here is connected to the heart space so tightly that I can't let it go, that the universe is calling in a Tower and saying, look, Libra won't let go. And Libra's got to move on. I feel like you have to move on from something here. We do have the Six of Swords next. So I feel like it's time for you to move on. If you've been wondering, is this over? Like I've been feeling like it's been over for a while. I think it is. I feel like the Tower is here to shift you into the realization that it's time to go to a calmer place emotionally. The Wheel of Fortune is here. You can't fight change, my friend. I feel like something is changing and you didn't sign off on it. That's what it feels like. And so it feels like this Queen of Cups in the reverse is mourning. It feels like sadness. I have no control over my feelings right now because everything is changing and I didn't sign off on that. But it's destiny. And you can't fight destiny. It's already written. You wrote it. You left the book with the universe and said, okay, I'm going to Earth. Make sure you keep me on track at any cost. And that's why the Tower is here with the Death card. So, because when the Tower is here with the Death card, that's absolute, completely done. It's in such a mess you can never go back. There's no way you can go back there. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the King of Cups. We've got the Eight of Wands. And we've got the Judgment card. So I feel like you held back when you wanted to move forward. It feels like there was an argument going on within you between the emotional self and the fire self. It feels like I really did want to move forward though. I really did want to move forward, and that's why I feel like you're sort of negotiating with the universe, negotiating with the self. It feels like the King of Cups here is, but I just wanted to say something, but I couldn't. And I kept my feelings under the surface, and I don't know why. I really just didn't say anything. But I really do want things to change. It feels like you were approaching making some sort of a really big decision that was like an awakening of some sort. And I feel like with this Judgment, Death, and Tower, that what you didn't realize is you weren't approaching making a decision because you were supposed to go with, okay, I'm going to finally show my feelings. You were supposed to just keep moving forward. I don't think that this, whatever it is, whatever the Knight of Cups represents to you, which could be moving slowly toward, maybe you were in your Knight energy and you weren't making a full step forward towards somebody. You felt hesitation. This is why you felt hesitation, because the universe is saying, look, give it a moment. Everything's going to change anyway. Tell me what's around the corner for Libra. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Three of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Pentacles. So, Page of Pentacles, right? Materialization in the 3D. It's a realization that you made the right decision. The Three of Pentacles is here. I feel like with the Three of Pentacles, it's you need to be off making a different foundation. I don't feel like this was supposed to be for you, to be honest. So if you're sad because something came to an end, or something didn't work out, or you were getting ready to say, should we be exclusive, or you were getting ready to say yes to the job, but you didn't, and someone else, they called you and said, well, we've offered it for someone else. It feels like that's the way it was supposed to be, because the Five of Pentacles is here. That you're supposed to go off and build another foundation somewhere with a different opportunity. So whatever this is here, it feels like there's a happier opportunity that is going to be showing up in the future for you. Yep, Two of Swords. You're going to be, it's like you couldn't make the decision, so the universe made the decision for you. You weren't supposed to make the decision. And before you could make the decision that may have may imploded you or pulled you off the path for a while, it feels like the universe said, look, everything's changing. It's time to move forward here. And because you couldn't make the decision, because you were dealing with a block, the universe made the decision for you. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Virgo, more Pisces, more Scorpio a couple of times. Look, that's a lot of Scorpio energy. This is definitely a new moon reading for you. All right. Speaking of Scorpio, happy birthday, friends. We're almost at the end of your season, right? Yeah, coming up in a couple of days. It's a big outro, which is very Scorpio. It's like the Joker in Batman flipping pulling the pin and throwing the bomb over their shoulder and walking away. Oh, Scorpio. Let's find out what's going on for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Oh, Charlie is so silly. Charlie is my guide, by the way. He just showed me that whole... if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. Yeah. All right. There's a meme, right? Tell me about Scorpio. So thank you for the beautiful Scorpio season, friends. I hope you had a beautiful Scorpio season. Happy birthday to all of you. Let's find out what's going on with Scorpio. Is coming up in the next 7 days. And the new moon coming up in the next couple days on the 20th. We've got the Seven of Cups. So there is a little bit of confusion or illusion happening here. Tell me more about this. Got the Queen of Wands. Oh. All right. The Two of Cups. Scorpio, what's going down with you? Oh, Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio. Okay. Look, I feel like somebody is, I feel like you've been holding back your emotions with somebody. Look, the Seven of Cups popped up first. That is Scorpio energy. And it feels like you've been undecided about something. Maybe you've been living in dreamland. Like it's been kind of dreamy. I'm going to say that you've been thinking about someone or romanticizing someone, or it feels like there is someone here I'm saying that you are attracted to, whether they are a man or a woman, feminine or masculine. It feels like with the Queen of Wands here that you have been thinking about someone, but it's been confusing and you're not really sure what you're going to do just yet. But I feel like there's a connection that's deepening here. And I think that's why you're thinking about someone. The Ace of Cups is here, and I think the Ace of Cups is connected to the 7, right? Look, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 cups here. I feel like this is a really big decision for you, and that's why you're holding back. It feels like you're holding back from celebrating too early, if that makes sense. I feel like you are about to create some sort of a stable connection, but it also feels like there is a lot of sexual attraction here, is what it feels like. There's a lot of attraction here for somebody. The Queen of Wands is very attractive, and not only physically attractive, but as somebody who's attracting all the things that they want. This is someone who's very independent and very fiery. So they could be someone who has maybe fire in the, maybe sun, moon, or rising, right? Because when you watch these readings, you're not always in your sun sign when you watch these readings. You could also be the one who has another water placement, Scorpio, Cancer, possibly, or you are somebody who has fire with that water. But it feels like you have been confused, possibly, about how to move forward with someone that I feel is calling you in with their attraction. We've got the Three of Wands. There's something going down in the future here. It feels like you are in your king energy, whether you're feminine or masculine. You're about to make a decision about expanding your future with somebody. It's been, I feel like this confusion, you can see the sort of the, I'm not really sure, kind of look on the face of the person in the Three of Wands, giving it a bit of the side eye. Tell me what else is going on here. We've got the got Libra. We've got the Four of Swords. Am I healed enough to move forward? Oh, very interesting. That's what it is. So I feel like you're very attracted to someone, not only to them physically, but I feel like you're attracted to them emotionally, psychically. We've got the Cups here, right? You have deepened a connection with this person, and I feel like you want to offer something more. But it feels like you're giving it all the side eye because you're still in healing mode. You're wondering, have I healed enough? I feel like the Seven of Cups is really significant for you, Scorpio, because not only is it Scorpio energy, but it's also this energy of, I don't really know. I haven't made the decision. But it feels like there is, I feel like you want to take your shot with somebody with this Eight of Wands here. It could be an Aries or a Sagittarius, maybe a Libra. Or that could just be the energy of you wanting to take your shot, moving forward, a burst of energy. It's like you're about to make some sort of a bold move. We've got the Nine of Wands, but I feel that your healing, your situation of yourself, your healing is what, I don't think you question this person's feelings for you, honestly. I feel like you've been, Two of Cups is even, right? They've given you emotion, you've given them emotion. We're good. It feels like this person is somebody that maybe you met in a social setting, or possibly they're someone who is in your social circle. I've got Three Cups here. Someone who I feel you know you're going to see again, or there's going to be some sort of a reunion, right? So maybe you don't see them often, but I think that you'll see them in a social situation. We've got the Nine of Wands. I really think that all this is asking, are you healed enough? And I don't think anyone's asking you that. I think it's within you. I think you're wondering, have I healed enough from the last thing in order to go into the next thing? We've got the Seven of Swords here. And I don't think that this is about deceit. It feels like it's about self. It feels like I'm not really sure of myself because I still feel like I might be in the Nine of Wands. I feel still hurt. I feel exhausted. If this one doesn't work out, I just don't know what I'm going to do. Look, the Tower shows up and everything shifts. I think that everything is going to shift forward here, including the doubt that you have that you've given yourself enough time to heal. I kind of love that. Yeah. Scorpio, I think that you portray to everybody that you've got everything under control. I really do think that if you are truly the Emperor, and when the Emperor is in the upright, it's somebody who is functional in that energy. I feel like you are somebody who is being very, very careful. This does feel like it is romantic related. It's a very sexual connection, or there's a lot of sexual desire here. But the Emperor is somebody who doesn't go in unless they're truly sure. So I feel like in the next 7 days, you're probably going to cause a shift of energy that is going to take you into the future. Tell me a little bit more about this Tower. I feel like you've been watching somebody. This person, possibly on the perimeter, looking at them, feeling them out, talking to them, deepening a connection little by little. Tell me about the Tower. Oh boy. Okay, it's go time. And it's terrifying, Scorpio. It's go time. Look, when the Sun and the Tower show up, it's go time. It's an awakening. It's an awakening that I'm terrified, but I can't wait anymore. I can't hold back. That's what it is, Scorpio. I feel like you're putting on your big boy underwear. You're putting on the Emperor's underwear here, and you're like, I got to keep it under control. I'm going to keep it under control, but I think I'm going to go for it. I feel like that's what the Tower and the Sun are. Tell me what the outcome is. Woo. We've got the Justice card. We've got the Three of Swords. And we've got the King of Wands. I'm just saying, it's time for you to pursue. Look, I feel like the outcome is an answer to what you've been asking. And I think your question is, have I healed enough? I think you have. Because justice is only here when karma has been fulfilled, when things restore themselves to their natural state and you become back at the beginning in your harmonious self again. So I think your answer is yes. I think you have healed enough. I think you are in this Emperor energy. I feel like you are back in control of your emotions. Right? Emperor and the Emperor and the Ace of Cups. I feel like you're back in control of your emotions. I feel like you're in this King energy where you're ready to pursue with fire. I feel like you're ready to pursue the person that you see as someone who is like you or mirrors you or has the same feelings about things, maybe the same attitudes, maybe you two affiliate yourselves the same way. It feels like this person is your mirror. That whatever they say to you, they echo back to you. Whatever you say to them, vice versa. Tell me what's around the corner for Scorpio. Got the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Six of Wands and the Judgment card. Well, look, there's your biggest problem. I don't know if you're ready to give up your singledom, is what it feels like. I'm sort of ready to come out of this dark night of the soul place where I'm alone, but I just don't know if I'm ready to leave behind my singledom. I'm not sure if I want to be in a relationship or I want to remain single. It feels like somebody here is fighting to stay single, but doesn't really want to, because when Judgment is here, it's an awakening. And look, Judgment, Tower, Sun. There's no way you're fighting that. Everything is shifting here, and it's shifting you into this Emperor energy. So look, just be careful. That's all I'm going to say, is if you're careful enough, you're not going to lose. And if you're thinking about what to do next, I feel like if you're ready to give up your single life, then it's time for you to move forward here. We've got the Moon energy. The reason you are scared to move forward is because things are not as they seem and you're not sure how it works out. Well, let's see how it works out. There it is. The Page of Cups is here. The Five of Swords is in the reverse, and the Knight of Swords. I think you're going for it. I think you are, because this is a new connection for you. And I think that you know that you align with this person really well. The Five of Swords is here. It's not in the upright. It's in the reverse. So I feel like you two align really well, that you have sort of the same opinions on things. It feels like with the Knight of Swords that there's a lot of really good conversation. And every time I talk to this person, they're sort of in agreement with me. Like we seem to have the same vibe. Bottom of the deck is the Hierophant. I think that you're not just looking for a person, and the Emperor never does. The Emperor's not just looking to date. The Emperor's not a dater. That's not what the Emperor does. The Emperor goes in for the kill, and that one's mine, and that's it. So I think that this Hierophant energy is what you're after. You're looking at someone who is possibly going to be worth your time, effort, and energy to get, to start anything with, because what you're looking for is this, right? You're looking for happiness in a commitment. You're not just looking to date. You're not interested in just dating. And I think that the World card and the Chariot is saying, it's time. You're disciplined enough. It's time for you to get the achievement. This is a milestone for you. It's time. Something here is quite solid. And you've been building this foundation with someone for a bit. So I feel like the new moon for you is possibly going for it. That's what it feels like with Gemini energy. You're just going to say it. You're just going to say, look, can we go out for coffee? Can we go out for dinner? Can I take you out? I think you just blurt it out at the most inopportune time. But I feel like you're going to do it nonetheless. Feels like it's a really good connection that's new. And we've got Cancer and Pisces energy. We've got Gemini energy. We've got Leo, Aries, more Leo, Scorpio, Virgo and Pisces. We've got more Leo, Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius. We've got Sagittarius energy and Taurus. More Sag energy, Libra. We've got Aries energy, more Libra. We've got Cancer and Pisces and Scorpio and Sagittarius. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. It's taken you a long time to get to this place, Scorpio. But I think you're ready. I think you are. Hello, Sagittarius. Saggies, how you doing, you guys? We're just about ready to step into your season, and you get to step into your season in a new cycle, the new moon, right? Let's find out what's going on for you, Sag. Sun, moon, rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Sag. My fire family, tell me about Sag. What's going on in the next 7 days for Sagittarius, Sun, moon, rising, Venus and Jupiter. We've got the 9 of good cheer. That is the 9 of cups. We've got the 3 of candles. Oh, guess what? The 3 of wands. Guess what's showing up here? Something of good cheer is showing up for you here. Wish fulfillment, happiness. Somebody has been looking out the window, wondering where's mine. Here it comes. That's what it feels like, Sag. Here it comes. Oh, the Lovers is here. Look at that. And then we have the Hermit. So something's been working itself out under the surface. It's been in the dark, and that's why you can't see it. I feel like there is somebody here, maybe a Virgo, maybe a Gemini. It feels like what is coming up in the future is a new connection, is what it feels like. I feel like somebody is choosing happiness, and I feel like possibly it might be you who is going to choose happiness, but it feels like somebody's choosing you because you make them happy. We've got Father Christmas here, who is the Hermit. And it feels like it's been quiet between you and somebody for a bit. And I feel like that's about to change because I feel like somebody's about to show up here. I'm just looking that this person is looking out into the yard, looking at like they've got the Ace of Wands in their hands, but the 2 of Wands here. Somebody here is ready for change. I'm ready for change, and I'm ready for this new thing to show up because I think it makes me happy. I'm going to choose happiness this time. Tell me about the 9 of Cups. We've got the 6 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the King of Swords. Oh, who had that combination? It might have been Virgo. Oh, very interesting. I think it was in the Virgo read. You might want to maybe look back, but maybe it was. But Virgo is right here. You know what I think? I feel like you've met someone, and I don't think it's someone that you see all the time, but I think you're thinking about them, and it feels like this person is somebody who is the King of Swords. So they are somebody who's honest and truthful. They seem to be a professional, I'm going to say. So somebody who has an educated career. So they might be somebody who is a journalist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a judge, a magistrate, a lawyer, somebody who is educated. It feels like this person is somebody who is very honest and truthful. They're all about the facts, get the facts straight, but I feel like they are very soft, I want to say, in their delivery. I feel like that's what you like about them, Sag, is that although they're ready to just hit you in the face with the truth of the facts, that they deliver it in a way that's very soft. It feels like you see this, interesting, you see this person in your future. She's got a crystal ball there, and we see somebody who is in nostalgia here. It feels like I've known you before. This person is standing in their pajamas or wearing slippers and they're watching two children walk into this house. It's a winter scene, right? And it feels like with this crystal ball that she has here, it's almost like you see this person in your future. You can see a future with them. Or it makes it feel like you've known them before from somewhere. It's like it could be someone that you know, definitely with the Six of Cups here. Look, I'm not going to play it, right? It could be somebody that you already know, but it feels like it does, if it's not somebody that you know, it does feel like it is somebody that you feel like you've known before. And which means is that when they're around, when they're in your environment, they make you feel calm. They calm you. The Queen of Cups is compassionate, kindness, loving, but also somebody who has opinions and facts. Somebody who's very educated and smart. Tell me what this is. We've got the Knight of Cups. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. And we've got the Eight of Swords. Ah, okay. So it does feel like here that you haven't quite decided if this is the one. That's what it feels like. Sagittarius, I don't think you've quite decided if this is the one, but I do feel that the knight isn't the one that has massive feelings, but there is a romantic undercurrent here. And the Eight of Pentacles tells me that I'm going over the situation and about all of the analytics, thinking about it. Is this the person that I want? Is that what they meant when they said that? Like, it feels like the Eight of Swords here tells me that you're trying to use your intuition, or that you're sort of stuck in a thought pattern, thinking about over and over. The Eight of Pentacles, though, tells me that you are waiting and reserving judgment, because maybe I do feel something, a little something. I feel like you haven't talked to this person in a while because the Hermit is here. So I don't think that you're staying away from them, understand? But I feel like you just haven't connected with them in a while. This might not be somebody that you talk to regularly, like they're not a texting buddy. We do have the Two of Pentacles, but you're about to come to a decision here. So it does feel like with this mistletoe energy here, this is the Lovers. It does feel like, is it really? Oh. Look, I'm just looking at this here. And so we got mistletoe here, but we have somebody's hand there. And I suppose it could be the hand of God, but it almost feels like somebody's going to snatch it from you. If you don't say yes, someone else is going to snatch them up. Tell me what the outcome is. Very interesting. Tell me what the outcome is. And so I have many different decks. They all give me different feelings. We've got the Sun. We've got the Four of Pentacles. And we've got the Five of Cups. You know what somebody's realizing here? If I don't say something to Sag, if I don't have that breakthrough and say something, the Four of Pentacles is here. I've been very quiet with them. I've been very reserved with them, right? Because the Hermit is here. That someone's going to snatch them away. The Five of Cups just showed up next to the Four of Pentacles. This person's been quiet because they don't want to get hurt. It feels like they have regrets that they've been silent, that they haven't said anything to you. And I feel like they're going to have some sort of a breakthrough. So look, I feel like somebody's going to come at you. And it feels like you already probably know them for some of you. But it feels like if you don't know them, you feel like you've known them before. Let's look at what's coming around the corner, and then I'll tell you what signs we're looking at. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. They've been hiding it. They've been hiding from making a decision here. The Knight of Pentacles is here. They're taking their time. The Devil is here, though. Oh, the Devil is here. Oh, no. The Devil is here with the Two of Cups and the Tower. This person's got it bad. I feel like, Sagittarius, that they're super attracted to you. And I feel like you're going to hear from them soon, because the Two of Cups is here with the mistletoe, or with the Lovers here. And with the Tower being here, everything is shifting into the Two of Cups. Somebody here is going to approach you, and look, I don't think this is the grand display of affection. They'll probably show you a little because the Knight of Cups is here, but it does feel like somebody wants to deepen the connection or reach out for you. She's sort of reaching out to touch this person. And the Tower being here is shifting everything. I feel like this person is way too attracted to you to not say anything. They're far more worried about this all coming to a screeching halt than anything. So I feel like this person is going to say something to you in the next 7 days. We do have the Seven of Wands in the reverse. Look, the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Gifts, the Seven of Pentacles here, you can see this person is looking under the bed. They've hidden their parcels under the bed. Somebody's hidden what's valuable. It's like they've hidden it from you because they're scared to make a decision, right? The Two of Swords is here. They're scared to make a decision. Look, this one's crossing their face. I'm scared to say it, and I'm going to take my time, but it feels like this person knows the reason that it's hard for them is because they know they're going to have to be flexible in order to say something to you, and flexibility is hard for someone who might be a fixed sign. They could be a fixed sign. Oh, we did see the World card, right? Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. We got Cancer. Yep, Scorpio. And we've got Capricorn, and we've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. It could be that they are a fixed sign and having a hard time because they know that when they go in, they're all the way in. They can't back out after that. So we've got Capricorn energy. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces energy, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, Scorpio, Virgo, and Aries. Okay, you're dealing with a Scorpio? You should go back and look at that reading if you are. Tell me about Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn as we step into this new moon energy for you, Capricorn. Let's find out what's going on for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter the next 7 days. Oh, the World card is here. Definitely. Look, the reason that a new cycle begins is because the old cycle is over. So I think you put a pin in it. I think you're done. I think something is closing itself here, closing a chapter, bringing something full circle here. Tell me what else is going on for Capricorn. Got the Nine of Wands. Got the Empress. And we've got the Chariot. You know what it really feels like here, Capricorn, that you're moving along is what it feels like. I think that you've become exhausted with gameplay. Now, I don't think this is romantic gameplay, understand? Because I don't see anything here that tells me this is romantic. It feels like the Nine of Wands is telling me you're exhausted. Exhausted with whatever the situation is. So this could be, I'm exhausted of tippy-toeing around somebody who doesn't know who they are, or somebody who's trying to make me act out in a way that I don't want to act. Maybe somebody has an opinion and is like, if you don't have the same opinion as me, then we can't be friends. I feel like you know your worth, which is the good part of it. I feel like you are in the Empress energy, and the Empress energy is one of really knowing my worth, knowing who I am, and I can make my own decisions, thank you. So it really does feel like you are closing a chapter on this, on the Nine of Wands. So whatever the Nine of Wands is for you, it could be just a thought pattern as well. I am not going to allow people to take my energy, to exhaust me, and try and browbeat me into thinking the way they do, doing the things they want me to do, because the Empress is sovereign, right? The Empress is doing their own thing. And I feel like with the Chariot energy, that you know that there's more in the future, but it's also about discipline and bringing things into order. But it is also about, you know, I've reached a level where I feel comfortable moving forward. So it does feel like there is something that you're wrapping up, or something that's coming to an end, because I feel like it's been exhausting you, taking your energy. Tell me about the World card, please. We've got the Five of Wands. Now, the World card, too, is all the fixed energies, right? Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. And I feel like you took a long time to wrap things up or make this decision. You were in indecision, which is the Five of Wands energy. And I feel also that, yeah, it almost feels like somebody was putting you in competition. Let's just say, let's go with the friend thing. Let's just say there's a friend who's trying to tell you to be who you're not, or who's trying to push you into seeing things from their point of view. It's like they're putting you in competition. It's like, well, if you like them, you don't like me. If you're going to invite them, don't invite me. That's what it feels like. And it puts you in a pause. It puts you in this place of the Hanged Man, because Capricorn, I think that you're slow to make decisions, but I think it's a good thing at this point, because the Hanged Man energy is about perspective, but also what am I going to have to sacrifice? And I'm exhausted with you trying to tell me and browbeat me into doing something I don't want to do. I can make my own decisions. I'm a whole damn empress, right? Don't tell me what to do. So I feel like, although you keep your feelings under the surface about the whole thing, it feels like you're being asked to use your intuition to make the right decision that is for you. I feel like somebody here has ultimately thrown you in a pit of, thrown you into the pit of a competition. They're like, well, then compete for my energy if you want it. And you're like, no, I don't have to. I'm the empress. I don't compete for anything. If you want me, come get me. But no, bro, I don't compete for anything. We do have the Knight of Wands. I feel like you're going to have to be brave, but I feel like it's time for you to wrap up a cycle here that is not working out for you. It's taking more from you than it's giving to you, and I think that the Chariot is here to say it's time to go. But the Knight of Wands is very brave, and I think you're going to have to make a brave decision to cut somebody, honestly, to sacrifice somebody. Because through looking at things from a different point of view, through perspective, I feel like you've realized that somebody here is not going to allow you to be the sovereign being that you are and allow you to think for yourself. They're going to want you to pick sides or pick a friend or, it feels like somebody's forcing you into something that you don't want to be forced into. So I feel like you need to be brave and just make a decision to cut yourself out of the tree and stop pausing there. Stop hanging. Got the Fool. That's the new cycle, right? The new moon on the 20th. We've got the High Priestess. Okay, look, if you haven't made this decision yet, you're definitely making the decision over the full moon. Five of Cups. And I think that the reason that you've been holding back, which is also the Hanged Man energy, the reason that you've been holding back and not closing this cycle or making a decision is because you know it's going to hurt like hell. Yeah, the Five of Cups is here. Because I think you still have love for this person, whether it's a romantic connection or a platonic, maybe a friendship connection, or maybe even a member of the family. But the High Priestess is here. I think that you have reserved your judgment and remained quiet or silent. But I think that the writing's on the wall. Once the World card shows up, there's only one place to go. And that's back to the Fool, where we start again. So maybe you're going to say to this person, look, you can't put me in competition. You're never going to win if you're trying to take more energy than I'm willing to offer, or you're fighting me on every single thing that I bring up. This isn't going to work for me. I feel like you're just going to be really honest with somebody here, and it's going to cause a fight, Capricorn. It's going to cause an argument. This person is going to see you as non-compliant. But look, the Empress doesn't have to comply. The Empress is sovereign. The Empress doesn't need you. I don't need your money, your time, your effort, your energy. I don't need your boundaries. I have my own. I don't need you. So if you're going to fight with me about it, you're going to lose. If you're going to try and force me or browbeat me into something, you're going to lose, right? So the Five of Swords is, I feel like you're about to have an argument with somebody. And I feel like your intuition's telling you that if you step out of line, this person is going to cut you off. And they might. And you're going to be sad, but you're going to be okay. You'll be fine because you know your worth. Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Capricorn. We've got the King of Wands. We've got the Six of Pentacles. And we've got the Nine of Swords. So I think that you worry about this, whether or not to give any more reciprocal energy than you've already given. I think you have wisdom. I think you know what to do. The King of Wands is here. And the King of Wands is the one who is always going to pursue whatever's best for them. And I feel like, the Six of Pentacles is telling me that I really do want to give you reciprocal energy, but I'm worried about that. Because somebody here will interpret that as you giving in. And I think that you need to set a boundary. That's what the Empress would do and say, look, you can't make me decide one or the other. If you're making me decide, then I'm just going to close the door and go off to the new cycle, because that's what my intuition's telling me to do. Tell me what is around the corner for Capricorn. We've got the Eight of Swords. Yeah, you don't know what to do. The Hermit energy's here. That's perfect energy, I think. I think it's a good idea. I really do feel like this is an important decision that requires a lot of energy, a lot of going within and thinking about it, because the Hermit's here with the Eight of Swords. Don't get yourself tangled there. I feel like you feel your hands are tied. You don't really know what to do, that this person's giving you an ultimatum, and ultimately you're not into the ultimatum. The Seven of Swords is here. You feel a little bit defeated, I would say. You also feel like this person is trying to pressure you or push you into something. Yeah. This is deception. And we have the Queen of Cups, and you're going to try and deal with it in the most kind and soft, sweetest way that you can. But I think you know what you have to do, because you're not going to be pushed into anything you don't want. Anything you don't want to do, because you're sovereign, right? You make your own decisions. Got the Nine of Pentacles here. You make your own decisions. You're confident. You don't really need people. You're standing on your own. You're good. And if somebody's going to push you to try and coerce you or lie to you about something, I feel like somebody's telling you something that you know with your intuition is not the truth. And so you're going in quietly in this hermit energy because you feel like your hands are tied in the situation. And it feels like you're going to try and deal with it in the kindest, softest way you know how. But ultimately, you are going to have to make a decision, a really hard decision, about whether you stay single or whether you stay in this relationship or whether you stay in this friendship. Because I think you've given a lot. The King of Pentacles is here. You're very giving and very kind. You've given a lot because the Queen of Pentacles will. And that's the King. But the Queen of Pentacles will give a lot. So will the King. The King's an overgiver. So I feel like if this person is trying to take more than they deserve, then that might be your answer. We've got the Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer energy. We've got more Scorpio. We've got Aquarius. Pisces energy, Aries, Virgo. Libra and Taurus. Sagittarian energy, Pisces. Capricorn energy, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius. More Leo energy. All right. Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius for the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter as we approach this new moon on the 20th. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. What does Aquarius need to know about the next 7 days, please? We have the King of Wands. We have the Hanged Man. Oh, the courage to make a decision. Feels like you are trying to gain perspective over a situation here, Aquarius, that requires all of your attention. It feels like you're going to take action, but first you need to find the balance between what you know and what you don't know. We have the Nine of Swords. And the Ace of Cups. It is, I feel, going to be an emotionally hard decision. It feels like with the Hanged Man that you're trying to get a perspective about what action you should take. The Hanged Man is also talking about sacrifice. It feels like this Nine of Swords is connected to the Hanged Man and the Ace of Cups. It feels like you are ready to sacrifice something for the sake of the heart space. And you know that you have to do it soon because that's one wand, and the one wand to me is a week. For me, wands are weeks. Intuition is called for, and that's the Hanged One energy. I know that you will come up with your answer, but it is perspective that you need. Perspective about what are the implications or what are the impacts to my heart space or to the Ace of Cups, depending on what decision I make. It feels like you're worried about what happens to the heart space if I sacrifice something, if I let it go. Once I get my perspective and I take action, is it going to impact the Ace of Cups? Tell me about the King of Wands. Got the Hierophant. Got the Three of Cups. King of Swords. King of Swords has been coming up in that position quite a bit today, and the Sun is here. So look, I don't think you can make a wrong decision. Just going to say, the Sun is here in the future. Got the Nine of Wands. I think you're over somebody's shenanigans, honestly. I feel like what you want to do is with the Nine of Wands and the 1 here, I think that you're getting ready. The reason why it's so important about this decision you're making, because you're getting ready to release something. You're getting ready to just drop some sort of burden that you've been carrying. I feel like it's a mental burden, and it does feel like you have a commitment to a group of people, or a commitment to being happy, or a commitment to some sort of celebration. So first of all, we could look at it as you've made a commitment to go to the wedding. You've already decided you're the +1, and now you don't really want to go. It feels like you've got a commitment of a celebration or a social thing, or maybe a reunion with somebody, or coming back together, and now you're thinking better of it. It feels like with the King of Swords energy that you're sort of piecing it apart and really being honest with yourself. Is this really what I want? It feels like you're ready to take action, but it's going to require you getting a perspective of what am I willing to sacrifice? It feels like you're going to have to let go of something, whether that is a thought process, 10 swords, or whether that is, am I going to hurt somebody by the decision that I make? The ace or the sun in the distance tells me that you are going to be able to make this decision, but I think that you are changing your mind about something. That's what it feels like, that you're changing your mind about the celebration, about the group of people, about the commitment you have to the people, or the commitment you have to the celebration. And I feel like you're making it the decision of a king. The king makes unilateral decisions, right? We'll always confer with people around them, and they always have all of these experts around them, but ultimately they are the ones that make their own decisions. And so I feel like you're making a decision which is possibly other people might see as a little bit harsh, but it is going to be truthful and honest, the one that you can live with. It's the decision you can live with. That's your energy, right? King of Swords. And it feels like there is a group dynamic that I think that you want to pull away from also, though, but you have committed to being in the group dynamic. So I think the people are going to see you as making a very harsh or quick decision, maybe something that doesn't look quite thought out. But I feel like, honestly, you've been in this place where you're trying to make the decision as to whether to do this or whether not to do this. I think that you've been there for a while. It might be even you're in this thought process for 9 days. Like maybe you're overthinking it a little bit. But I feel like you're going to make the decision within the week. Somebody's worried about this Ace of Cups. If I make this decision after getting my perspective and I decide I'm going to sacrifice something, what happens then? Do I get kicked out of the group? The group that I've committed all my time, energy, and efforts to? Do I get kicked out of that group? I've got the Nine of Pentacles. Because really, ultimately, you're the one that thinks outside the box, and you're going to make the decision that may not be the popular decision, but it's going to be the decision that is best for you. I've got the Two of Swords. And the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles is, when I make this decision, it's going to be a decision that's going to push me on the outside of the dynamic. I feel like you're preparing to be single or to take care of something by yourself. We've got 5, 1, 2, 3, we got 6 here. 6 pentacles in the tree. It feels like you've given a group of people or a situation a lot of time, effort, and energy. And now it's time for you to make a decision about what to do about the group. I think this is a really hard decision that you're trying to use the intuition to get the answer for. I don't think they can keep up. And I'm saying this quite honestly because, well, we're in Aquarius reading. It'd be silly for me not to be. But please don't take offense to it if you're the person watching this, not the Aquarius. I feel like you're making a decision to leave a group of people, even though it's a fun place to be, but I don't think they can keep up intellectually. You know what I mean? I feel like they're a great bunch of people to go out and have some drinks with and be silly with, but when it comes down to sitting down talking about politics, worldviews, sun, moon, and stars, like they just can't keep up. And so it feels like you have to make a decision about whether you're going on your own, cutting away and doing your own thing. There might be somebody in this group who has the heart space for you, who is attracted to you, really likes you. And so I think that that's why it's going to look extra harsh when you cut yourself away. We've got Star. That's your energy. It's thinking outside the box. How can I do this in the most healed way? I think you're trying to find the best way to make a decision which is good for you and which will have the least impact on the heart space of either you or someone else. Look, you're not a monster. You're just trying to make the best decisions for yourself. I think you're hopeful that once you make this decision and decide that you're just going to go out on your own and disconnect yourself, that these people aren't going to be arguing, aren't going to be mad with you. Because I think they're going to think that because you hung out with them for so long, if this is a social group, that you've committed to the group dynamic. But I think that really you were there to maybe, be with them and have fun and rest from being so serious. But all they do is rest from being serious. It's good if they would have a good balance in the polarity of let's have fun, but let's be serious. But I think that these people are people who chase drinks, people who are trying to forget their week. It feels like you just can't get anybody to speak about things that matter to you. Tell me about the outcome, please. We've got Temperance. We've got the Four of Swords. And we got the Ten of Swords, yeah. They're going to see it as betrayal. They're going to see it as betrayal, and I think that it is in this moment, the moment of alchemy, that you have to decide what you're going to do is what you're going to do that's best for you. I'm just going to say that I'm looking at it sort of also if this is a relationship, if we are talking about a relationship, it feels like somebody is in a committed relationship that possibly goes really great until we begin to drink. I think that somebody here gets really harsh with their words or ugly with their words. Three Swords are here. Heartbreak ensues. I'm disappointed in you. I just want to be single. Or they ask for a divorce. I feel like you're dealing with a tough drunk. Somebody who is not very good at holding their liquor. Could be someone you're married to or someone you're committed to. And you're just over it. In order to heal yourself, you've got to put yourself on the outside looking in here. You've got to walk away from this. You have to disconnect. You're making the decision to disconnect because it's just not healthy for you. Got the King of Cups, keeping it to yourself. Queen of Pentacles. Ten of Wands, but we've entangled ourselves financially. I've got to do this carefully. I've got to reassess the situation. I feel like you're carrying a heavy burden, Aquarius, and I feel like the burden is financial. It feels like it also is emotional. And it feels like you are going to have to make a decision, Two of Pentacles, but it's got to be made slow. I don't think that you're going to make this decision. You've already made the decision, understand, to release this, but I feel like now you need a plan, and that's where the Knight of Pentacles comes in, who's very strategic, right? Someone who's very practical. I need a practical plan about what I'm going to do to release this whole situation, whatever the situation is. But I feel like it's weighing heavy on you emotionally, and you're the person who's never going to show it on the surface. It's also weighing on you financially, possibly for some of you. It might be a financial thing, or this is something that's weighing on you because maybe you work for this person or work with them. Maybe you don't have the luxury of disconnection. Maybe you have to heal it because you don't have the luxury of disconnection. We have the Page of Wands, the Death card, and the Magician. Feel like you're creating an out. That's what it looks like. You're trying to find a way out. You're trying to create a way out. The Death card, the Magician, creating the end. And bringing things full circle so you can go on another path. That's what it looks like here. We do have Aquarius energy. We have Aquarius energy. We have Sagittarius, Capricorn, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Aquarius. Libra, Gemini. We have Cancer energy, Taurus. We have Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, and Pisces. Speaking of Pisces, let's find out what's going on for you, Pisces. Got this new moon coming up on the 20th, my friend. It's a significant new moon. Let's find out what's going on for you as we step into this energy. We're already feeling it, by the way. Tell me about my water family. Tell me about my two fishes friends. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter. Tell me what's coming up in the next 7 days for Pisces, please. We've got the Hierophant. Standing on business. What's this? Two of Wands. The Nine of Pentacles. And the Ace of Swords. Pisces, I think you're about to make a decision about how much energy, effort, time, money, how much do I offer to this commitment? I think you're standing on business and you're being very practical about it. The Two of Wands is a plan. I feel like you spend time by yourself trying to make a plan about what to do. It feels like somebody here has made a commitment. Now, I don't know if it's a relationship commitment or a commitment to a job or a friendship, but it feels like I'm in. I'm all the way in, right? I've made a commitment to either travel or I've made a commitment to make a decision. It feels like with the Nine of Pentacles, though, it's a decision about how much more am I going to give to the situation. Because the Ace of Swords is here. So it feels like revelation or some sort of a clarity. We need to talk about this. How much more energy am I going to put into this situation before you commit? Or how much more energy do I put into the situation or into this commitment before I make a decision about what to do? I need to stand on business. I don't know why I got stand on business when it first came out. Maybe because this is corporation as well. It could be somebody who's deciding, do I stay in this employed place or do I go out and make my own money as an entrepreneur? Tell me about this Hierophant energy. But once you make the decision, you're not going back. And so I think that that's why you're at this Two of Wands energy, trying to make a plan, wondering where I go next. Tell me about the Hierophant. Page of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and the Seven of Wands. Somebody here knows that they've got to bring up this point of reference. I've got to stand up for myself. Because if I don't, I have nothing to complain about. And I don't think you're looking for anything to complain about. But look, the Seven of Wands is here. I feel what you want to do is you want to build a bridge. You want to build a bridge from here to there. Let's talk about our emotions. Let's talk about how committed we both are to the situation. But I feel like you think if you bring it up, if you're the first one to bring it up, I think that you feel that it's only going to create a wedge between you and this other person in this commitment. We could be talking about a business partnership as well, because the Five of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Page of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. It feels like there is a decision to make here ultimately with the Two of Wands energy. Do I say something or do I not? It feels like someone is like, I've just got to bring truth, honesty, and clarity here. Even if it causes an argument, I've got to stand up for myself. I have to materialize a way to say something because this is a big deal. The Hierophant is a big deal. It's commitment, it's corporation, it's structure, it's I'm going to do the right thing, but I need to be able to talk about it first. Because I'm not making a decision, because I know with the Hierophant present at the center of the read, that if I make a decision that I'm in, there's no way I'm going back. When I'm in because I'm loyal. So somebody here is trying to decide, do I have enough? Am I enough? Am I confident enough? Am I educated enough? Tell me about this. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Ten of Cups. And we've got the Page of Swords. It really does feel like somebody is going to be faced with a decision about whether we make this a permanent commitment or not. The Queen of Pentacles, though, is the one that takes care of everything. I think whether you're feminine or masculine, I think that the reason that you're hesitating to bring this up or talk about it is because I feel like right now in this commitment, it feels like the workload is uneven. It feels like you're the one that does everything. You plant the garden, you clean the house, you do the laundry, you take care of what needs to be taken care of. You're the one that's painting everything, creating everything. It feels like you're the one that's in creation mode. And I feel like there's somebody here who wants you to make a commitment to either move in or can we take it to the next level because the Ten of Cups is here. But I feel like the Page of Swords tells me I've really got to think about that first. Because although I'm happy, it feels like it's an uneven amount of work. I don't know if you're the woman or the man, feminine or the masculine, whether you have 2 men, 2 women, whoever it is, but the workload is uneven here. And so one person is like, yeah, come on and move in because you're the one doing all the work. But the other person isn't really putting in much and you're going to become the workhorse. And I don't think you want to become the workhorse. This person's trying to get you to make a quick decision, but you don't want to make a quick decision because you're like, I value my time, I value my effort, I value my energy. This person might want you to move in and with the promise of marriage, but I think you're a good workhorse. I'm just going to say. The Queen of Pentacles is the one that takes care of everything and everyone and brings all the material wealth, brings the stability. So I feel like this can be an adventure. This can be a really good adventure for you. But I feel, the thing is that if you feel like if you bring it up, that it's going to cross some sort of boundary, if you bring it up and they're going to fight with you, I think you already have your answer. Because look, if you can't even talk to them now and you're not even living with them yet, or you're not even in the relationship enough to take a ring or whatever, and they already are going to get mad at you because you're hesitating about your future, then I don't know, is that for you? I think it's a really big decision for you because I think that somebody here is benefiting from you and all your hard work. And I don't necessarily know that they're a person who is wanting to match your energy. I don't see the King of Pentacles here, and that's my worry really, that I don't see anybody who's matching your energy. It almost feels like the other person is like, oh, but I'm the spiritual giant. I'm the one who will lay my hands on your head and give you a blessing. Well, great, but I'm going to be exhausted because I'm the one that's doing the cooking, the cleaning, the kids, and everything else. Like, it feels like that sort of energy. Tell me about the outcome. King of Pentacles is here, but the Hanged Man is in the reverse, and sorry, not the Hanged Man, but the High Priestess is in the reverse, and the Devil is here. So I think that this person is inviting you into their life with the promise of, I'm going to even up the tasks. Something here is coming to light, but it's the Devil energy. Just saying. It almost feels like this is codependency. Yeah. Somebody is codependently leaning on you, and I feel like that's what comes to light. You may move in with this person. You may decide to give it a trial run and move in with this person. But I feel like if you are the one who brings it up beforehand, the uneven workload of this person isn't very good with halving up, the chores in the house, not very good with halving up the finances, not very good with all of that stuff. And understand, I'm not saying you have to have separate accounts and half up your, I don't really care about all that crap, but I'm saying that they're not very good at evening the playing field, that it seems very uneven. Tell me what's around the corner, please. We've got the King of Cups. We've got the Ace of Cups. Oh, listen, the unevenness might be emotional. This person might have a hard time accessing their feelings. I feel like you're going to say to them, look, I need to have more emotion from you. I need you to be more emotional with me. The Sun is here with the Ace of Cups. I need you to be more excited when you see me. It feels like we've gotten into this relationship where, this is the place where everybody sort of smooths it over because we just want to get to the altar. We just want the party. We just want the wedding. And it feels like somebody here is like the sun, it comes out next to the Ace of Cups. And do you really love me? Because I don't see that in the way things are working out. I feel like this is more a little bit of codependency because of maybe you think because you bring home more money than me that you think that I'm supposed to be the person who does everything else. So it does feel like something is out of whack here. The sun is here. I want to say that this is not an unhappy connection. It feels like it is emotionally happy, but it feels like you want someone because King of Cups is here. King of Cups keeps it all under the surface, right? And you might want this person to be more animated, more loving. You want more affection. Maybe you like to be touched more. It feels like you're not exactly happy with the way things are going here, but someone else wants to take it to a place of commitment, and you're like, wait a second. We don't even have the basics down yet. We have the Hanged Man. Yeah, there we go. So I feel like what's going on here is that you need a perspective. You need a better perspective. You need to figure out whether you're sacrificing this whole thing or whether you're in. Because I feel like right now you're like, things are in a pause because I need to bring some things to light. But I think that when you do, it causes a fight. It feels like we have a difference of opinion about how a relationship should be run. It feels like one person feels as long as they bring all the financial wealth that you should be the one who does everything else. And it feels a little bit out of whack. Is what it feels like. This person's going to be like, but I buy you trips, but I buy you, that's my plan to bring material wealth. And you're like, well, that's not good enough for me because I'm going to be too exhausted to do any of it. It seems something is out of whack here is what it feels like. We've got the World card here and the Hermit. It feels like you are going to think about it. You're going to think about what you really want in terms of stability, in terms of harmony, in terms of things being even, right? With the Justice card being here. But you've got an Emperor. And so I feel like the Emperor feels like you should serve them, whoever the Emperor is for you. And I think that you got to think about that before, like, should I bring it to an end, like right now, instead of getting myself into this? Or should we talk about it? Because I feel like when you bring it up, it does cause an argument. We do have Pisces energy. We have Leo, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We have Taurus energy. We have Gemini energy, more Pisces, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The Ten of Cups is Pisces. Yeah, it seems like we do have, and Taurus. We have Taurus and Pisces, water energy, Virgo here, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always going to come back. And Happy New Moon to you. I'm going to go for now. You guys take care. Bye-bye.